So people lately have been talking about that the Nintendo Switch 2 is on par with the Steam Deck, and everybody in the gaming community has been saying, especially on Twitter, that, oh, the Nintendo Switch 2 is going to be underpowered. Oh, the Nintendo Switch 2, it's going to be a failure. It's going to be like the Wii U. Well, let's wait and see on that one, because here's what's interesting about this. So, this is from wccftech here, and this article is called "The Nintendo Switch 2 will almost be on par with the Steam Deck, but software limitations could impact the system heavily." So this, information comes from, Moore's Law, basically, the information that wccftech got to make this article. This all comes from Moore's Law is Dead Broken Silicon podcast. While its specs should put its performance almost on par with the Steam Deck, though, Switch 2 CPU weaker single core could impact performance in certain scenarios, as we heard last month. Some decision made on the software side of things could be very limiting. Ooh. Console manufacturers include in their system security processor and encryption that introduce limitation. And the same is likely happening with the new Nintendo console, especially considering how the Switch was hacked and even a working flash card was released on the market not too long ago. So Nintendo Switch could have some more limitations that a few could see. For example, on the current system. Oh no, let's not read this. So the Nintendo Switch should be more than enough for foreseeable issue, as the 12 gigabytes RAM shouldn't create problems if high resolutions are not targeted. However, more complex games using ray tracing and advanced Unreal Engine 5 stuff may require upscaling from some very low resolutions, resulting a blurry image quality. So, a couple months ago, there's another article. The Nintendo Switch 2 late launch is leaving people at NVIDIA confused. No shrink could boost performance up to 4.5 teraflops. WCCF got this information from Moore's Law is Dead Broken Silicon podcast. So basically, with the no shrink or any sort of hardware redesign was made to the Nintendo Switch 2, then there's a chance that it could hit around 4.5 teraflops in dock mode, as opposed to the rumor 4.0 teraflops reported sometime back. So, something's fishy here. Something is fishy here. Something's up, because this was said, being, 4.5 teraflops was said in May 23rd, 2024. And yeah, recently now, it's pretty much saying that it will be almost on par with the Steam Deck. So yeah, something's up here. Something's up. Something's not connecting. And also, let's play this video. It's called Nintendo Switch 2 Leak Specs, Power Pricing, and NVIDIA's Console Ambitions. And this is from Moore's Law is Dead channel, so let's play.
Core ARM processor and a 128-bit LPDDR5 memory controller. Some version of these specs and these extra little bonuses here are what's likely in the Switch 2, and I'll be honest about its performance. If NVIDIA and Nintendo were to utilize the full die that I've shown you there, with clock speeds above 1.2 gigahertz and 16 gigabytes of the fastest LPDDR5 on the market, I think we'd honestly be looking at something that is around the raw performance of an Xbox Series S.
Could be looking at around the raw performance of the Xbox Series S.
But with better ray tracing, console optimized DLSS, and enough VRAM to actually run more modern games than the
more than enough modern VRAM to run
the Series S. And that would be
run more games than the Series S.
really exciting. But I have to say, that is the pie in the sky outcome here of what Nintendo can choose to go with based on the SoC and NVIDIA design for them. And it's also incredibly likely that instead, they may disable this thing down to 1408 CUDA cores or lower, that they may have stock clocks, even will docked, be 1 gigahertz or lower, and they may go with 8 gigabytes of RAM total, which I do think would hold it back. I'm keeping my fingers crossed for 12 gigabytes. I'll be pleasantly surprised, honestly, if Nintendo went with 12 gigabytes, let alone 16. And what this all means in terms of the performance that you should expect out of the Switch 2 is that at a minimum, I believe it is looking like it will outperform the Steam Deck.
It will outperform the Steam Deck.
At least by a little bit. Indeed, the only thing that I think could make it be held back versus the Steam Deck is if they only went with 8 gigabytes of RAM. Whereas, especially if they went with 16 gigabytes.
Well, it's looking like that Nintendo is going to go with 12 gigabytes for RAM.
It's let alone 12 gigabytes. They actually kept clock speeds at a reasonable level. They could get to something that's around a Xbox Series S, but on the go, with DLSS support and better ray tracing. And at that end of the spectrum, it would actually feel like a very modern handheld gaming device, even if Nintendo's dragging their feet. So again, performance will be somewhere between better than a Steam Deck and around a Series S, but with added enhancements. And if it has 12 gigabytes of RAM, I really actually do not think people will be disappointed by this thing.
Okay, so in between a Steam Deck and Xbox Series S. Man, at this point, something's up. Something is up. Something's funny is going on. When it comes to the Switch 2 specs information, something's funny is going on. So, when it comes to the Switch 2 being on par with the Steam Deck, honestly, at this point, we are just going to have to wait and see, because Nintendo themselves have not announced the console yet. We have not seen any third-party games running on the Nintendo Switch 2 to judge it to whether or not it's more based on the Xbox Series S version, the PS4 version, or, the PS5 version, though, downscale to 1080p or 720p, but with DLSS utilizing an upscale to 4K, we really don't know. So let's wait and see before we make these definitive conclusions that the Nintendo Switch 2 is underpowered. The Nintendo Switch 2 is punching above its weight. The Nintendo Switch 2 is less powerful than the Steam Deck, or just, on par with the Steam Deck. So let's wait and see on that. What do you guys think? Hope you guys have a good day, and peace, and thanks for watching, and bye.